Hey guys, this is Substitute Topher, and today we are sitting in and walking around the 2024 Mazda CX-90. We aren't quite able to drive this new SUV yet, but we will be doing so at a later date. But I thought today, while we have the car in our hands, we would go ahead, do a tour of the interior and exterior, and talk about some of the new powertrains and what to look forward to with this new CX-90. So this is a new platform, a rear-wheel drive bias platform from Mazda. It's a 3-row luxury-esque SUV. You know how Mazda kind of tries to hit that higher end of the middle class sort of range here. Not full luxury, but just kind of right below. So this CX-90 kind of slots in with that 3-row segment. We've got two engine choices for the new 2024 CX-90. The one that we're sat in right now is a 2.5-liter turbo inline-4 engine plug-in hybrid. This is Mazda's first kind of mass-produced plug-in hybrid car over here in America, at least. I think they've got some other ones over in Japan and stuff, but this is the first one that we've seen here in America. We've got 323 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque here in this particular car, but the powertrain that I'm excited about is the inline-6, and we'll take a look at the exterior of that car a little bit later. But important things to know about the inline-6: it's a 3.3-liter turbocharged unit with a 48-volt mild hybrid. It makes 340 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. So let's go ahead and do a walk around of the outside of this car, and then we'll take a look at the inside, and we'll go out in the sun and we'll show you the inline-6 car a little bit later. So here it is, a totally new design here from Mazda. As you can see here, we've got our PHEV badging here on the fender. If this were the inline-6 car, we'd have an inline-6 badge in place of that. But a totally new and unique design here. A pretty flat front end. And with this one being the plug-in, we do have it plugged in here in the garage. Very soft lines on this car. Nothing really sharp or cutting or anything really dramatic. It's just kind of an elegant design overall. And it is a long car. What's cool about this is, since it is a rear-wheel drive biased architecture vehicle, we kind of have that rear-wheel drive design. We've got a long front here, and it sits a little bit lower in the front as well, which I kind of like. We've got chrome lines down here. We've got Mazda badging on there, as you can see right here. Pretty nice. Kind of a concave design here to the side of the car once it gets past that front fender. Here's our charge port. Massive charging door. That is huge. All right, here is the back of the car. Pretty similar design language here to some other Mazdas here. These taillights look pretty familiar. Let's open up the back. Ooh, that gets close. Okay, so here's our third row seating. We've got a little tray right here to set some things. We've got a toolkit over here on the right. No power folding third row seats. We still have straps to fold them down, but they do fold pretty flat. We've got a little bit of an upwards angle there, but you can see we've got these little pieces of carpet to flatten everything out for you. We've got a 120 volt outlet on the right and on the left. We also have kind of just like a regular traditional car charger there, so you can power quite a few things if you're camping or anything like that out of the back of the CX-90. So that's pretty cool to see. Let's go ahead and pull these third row seats back up, because I want to sit back here. I haven't sat back here yet, so I'll get my raw first impressions on the third row. Let's go ahead and shut this. We do have a button there for that. Close is pretty quick. And we've got a trailer hitch down here as well. They haven't disclosed tow rating yet, but if I had to guess, I'd say probably somewhere around 5,000 pounds is what I'd expect to see on an SUV like this. Got our fuel door right here. Quick look at the back seat, but before we do that, I've got to figure out how to climb into the back. Oh, it's probably this. Yep, it is. Okay, cool. So let's climb into this third row. See what space is like back here. Pretty decent, guys. I've got a good amount of headroom in the back of this car, which is surprising because usually cars with a rear-wheel drive architecture like this, the floor sits up a little bit higher, but Mazda's done a really good job with space in the back. Even wearing a camera on my head, I've got good headroom, and legroom's pretty plentiful as well. So what I'm curious to see is second row room, if I've got this much room in the back. Before we get out of the third row, USB-C port, 2 cup holders on either side, and also tie downs for things when you have these third row seats down. We've got some vents back here as well. Okay, let's hop in the second row. Get this door shut. We do have some sunshades back here, which is nice. Gives you the luxury feel. And some interesting materials here on the door as well. Kind of reminds me of BMW. We've seen a similar material in the 3 and 5 Series cars on the dashboard and console area, which we also have up there. We'll get to that in a second. We've got some cup holders here which fold down. I haven't really seen a design like that before, so that's kind of neat. You can fold those out of the way if you'd like. We've got heated rear seats back here, as well as a climate control panel. And as far as legroom goes, in the position the seat was with me sitting behind it, I could confidently say you can fit 6 adults in this car, so that's pretty impressive. But if you don't have adults in the third row, you can scoot back, give yourself a little bit more legroom, and be pretty comfortable here in the second row of the CX-90. We've got a panoramic moonroof as well. A little Velcro carpet here. An overall design on the seats is pretty nice, just pretty basic black interior option on this particular car, but some nice contrast here. We've got this line down the middle of the seat in a gold leather, and then also contrast stitching and perforation. So pretty good detail on the seats here, and pretty happy with that design. I'll give you a look here at the front of the car, the steering wheel, the dashboard, everything like that. We'll talk briefly about that, and then we'll move on to the exterior of the inline 6 car. But let's hop up there real quick, talk about a couple things. Okay, so sitting back up front here in the CX-90, a couple of different things that I noticed that aren't super traditionally Mazda. For one is this shifter. Mazda has always given a very normal sort of traditional mechanical shifter for their 6-speed automatics. Maybe now that they're introducing this new 8-speed in this car, that's why they've given us this electronic looking shifter here. We've got some parking cameras, 360 cam and reverse camera right there. And a pretty basic looking Mazda infotainment. I don't have any control over it right now. This is a super early car. We're not really supposed to be messing with anything electronically in here. So just interesting to see that we still have knobs down here. We've got a volume knob and a very similar and familiar Mazda spot, and then our knob to control the infotainment as well. Also up here we have a drive mode selector. Makes a nice click. And I assume we'll be able to... Oh! Drive available due to system malfunction. Okay. Well, I assume we'll be able to control some of our plug-in hybrid-y things up here as well. Fully digital gauge cluster. Since this car is the plug-in hybrid, we have our EV charge sort of battery gauge here on the left-hand side. And then we've got our fuel gauge and battery level here on the right. And sneak peek, this isn't really something that's been disclosed, but it looks like we've got 21 miles of electric range. Now, this is alleged. It's just kind of what it's telling me here on the cluster, but that would be what I would suspect. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here with the plug-in hybrid and move on to the inline 6 car. So this Artisan red car is sporting the other powertrain, the 3.3 liter 48 volt mild hybrid turbocharged in line 6. We'll do a quick walk around of this car. I mean, exterior wise, it's pretty much the same, just a different color. But what I do really want to show you on this car is the interior. We've got a much brighter spec on this car. Got almost a white interior and a lot of different materials in here that are not super traditional for Mazdas. In fact, it kind of reminded me of Volvo. I'm saying that quietly because I don't really know that Mazda PR won't really want to hear that, but we'll go ahead and hop in here and take a look. Ooh, Charlie's going to be happy to see a power adjust steering column. That's nice. So a little bit more of a luxurious feel in the inside of this inline 6 powered car. I'm not entirely sure on trims. They haven't really said anything about that yet, but lots of materials in here that I do quite enjoy. We've got some very interesting stitching here on the steering wheel, and actually a stitch around the whole middle face of the wheel rather here, which looks quite high-end as well. We've got a armrest that splits in the middle, opening cup holder slot. Oh, here's our key. Okay, so the key looks identical to older Mazda keys. Good to know. This is the most unique material in here. It's almost like a cloth they put on the dash. We saw in the black car we had leather here, and yeah, and we also have a tan headliner in this car. So overall, pretty high-end look here and feel in the CX-90. I'm super excited to take this out for a drive when we are able to. And just to reiterate again for the third time, I feel like I've done it so many times, how cool is it that we have an inline six in this kind of lower tier segment of SUVs? And really cool that Mazda is bringing that to market with that 3.3 liter 8-speed auto and this new powertrain and tech from Mazda. So pretty neat. Camera review mirror, that's nice to see as well. Pretty high definition. Cool, well it is hot, super hot. We've got a Bose sound system. Let's see, we've got probably a mid-range. I don't know if there are tweeters on the dash. If not, that'd be a tweeter and then a mid-range. Big fan of this artisan red paint. Really pops in the sun. Mazda does a great job with their reds. So we are big fans of Soul Red. All right, cool guys. Well, just a pretty basic walk around here, and of course we'll get you more info once we're able to drive the car. That red really pops, but that'll wrap it up for us today. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.